What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another Doodle Empires video. Alright, we're gonna have to wait for it to load. Just give me a sec. Alright, and the video. Okay, good. Alright, so let's get into it. This is episode 14 of our Middle East series, so let's get into it. Alright, we're loading up. In the previous episode, we saw a war fought between the two major alliances. And basically, the Persians were forced to retreat from the Kuwait area in exchange for basically being allowed to keep this area. The Caucasians wanted all of this land, and the Anatolians agreed to give it to them. The Egyptians wanted land up to here. The Albanians wanted all of Greece, and they're gonna get it. So for now, we're gonna be setting up the borders. However, while this is happening, a new nation is formed, and this new nation will form in, you know what, why don't let the game decide? Let's see what the game says. And a new nation will form down here, so we'll make Somalia. Somalia will be coming back. Somalia is quite an old nation, and they will be making a comeback. Basically what happens is the Triple Kingdom will fund the revolution here, and this is because they want control over this area of North Africa. I mean, not North Africa, this area of they want the Horn of Africa. They want some sort of area over here. So while their borders are being settled, the Albanians will start taking their portions, what they were given in the agreement that ended the war. So we're just gonna wait till the Albanians get everything. You know what? Just to speed this up, let me just. Alright, just to speed this part up, we're just going to make us that you can only get expansions. So yeah, this part of the video should take maybe like a few minutes. This is mostly setting up borders. So the Albanians are getting their rough borders of Greece now. They're gonna be like this, basically. They're gonna go up to this Fort South Athens. And in the agreement, the Albanian government would get everything up to here, but they would not be able to take this island, this peninsula, and that is because of the fact that the Egyptians need it for their navy. So the Albanians are not going to be able to take that. And so now these are our new Greek borders. They look like this. So as you can see, Albania is a new huge state. The Anatolians will have a small expand. They will just make sure their border is up to date. They one thing they will get, however, is they will be allowed to basically do this. Alright. There's going to be border set up. So while we wait, tell me in the comments what your favorite country is. For me, it's probably either Caucasia or Persia, honestly. One thing I like is that this series gets updated as Doodle Empires gets updated, which isn't too often. I mean, it gets updated, I'd say, maybe once or twice a month. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Also, I would start this series earlier, but I could have started in June. But it's like change the save system to make it more reliable, and that basically resulted in pretty much every save before that update being hidden. So yeah, if you're ever curious to it happened to Adis Pro, I think he had a Europe, yeah, he had a Europe series, I'm pretty sure. No, wait. Yeah, it was Europe. I think it was Europe. He had like a Europe series, and he like lost his save because of that. So now these are going to be the rough new borders of Egypt, as you can see. The new Egyptian superstate that's existed for a long while. They will also just storm into this thing. They're automatically just going to take this thing over as Somalians. Let's see. They also probably will do some other stuff, such as they will expand their coastal claims, and they will additionally get some more border areas around this. Okay, so now we have the Kuwaiti government, the newly formed Kuwaiti country. They will continuously expand. You know what? Just speed this up. Let me just. And now, if we're going to get large expand, this will speed this up dramatically. This move of Kuwaiti, like basically the Kuwaiti government being allowed to take over this area is extremely popular. And so as a result, this will be like rapidly thing. This will be a rapid thing. The Persians realize that there's no point in holding this down, and so yes, we're gonna see a new Kuwaiti state in its back. We're getting there to the borders we want to see. By we, I mean myself, but these are like the borders that were planned out. If you hadn't seen the previous episode, I'd advise, because this like explains why. Basically, there's like a war and treaty. Basically, had a bunch of land changes. But I thought that was water. All right, so now we have the rough new borders of Kuwait, and so they will go up to like roughly around here. They will spear towards this lake. Let me just make sure it's all the Persian. Got it. Let's make sure it's all the Persians. Okay. These are the rough new borders. Alright. The Caucasian government will get to take all this. So as you can see, they just keep advancing. And the reason why the Caucasians take this land is mostly just to make it so that the Antonians don't have to worry as much. Because remember, the Antonians are pretty new. In the last episode, they were successful in overthrowing the Turkish government with the Caucasian aid. So this government is pretty unstable. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's more stable than it was earlier when it was first founded because, well, you know, most of their provinces that would rebel are being I guess you could say given new management, if you will. So as you can see, they're gonna keep on moving. The Caucasian government will get all their claims. And the Egyptians will finish up theirs, just making sure that the river border is accurate. Perfect, okay. Alright, and these are our new borders. Alright. So as you can see, the Anatolians are substantially smaller. Egypt is much bigger. Persia is way smaller as well. And so now, let's see what happens next. Let me just adjust the odds. Oh wait, yeah, it's time for these small things. Alright, let's just improve this. I'll have splits be off for now. New nation at 10, union at 1, small split so the splits at like 3. So both at 1, new leader at, I'll just say 4, 10. Adopt religion can be at 5. Diverge order can be at 3. You know what? I'm gonna turn off all the ages for now. Alright, let's see what happens next. So the Anatolians will move, and alright, and a new nation forms. That's great. Alright, this new nation will form up in the, if I could type, it will form in southern Greece. And what happens is, basically, the Egyptian government decides, you know what? Let's set up a puppet state over here. Because the Egyptian government realizes that they're better off having a puppet, because in their opinion it's easier to govern it. Because obviously, it's pretty hard to, well, you know, run this Greek area all the way from their capital, which is here. So, oh yeah, and the lore is basically, so the Libyans were the ones who founded Egypt. And the leader who paid for the founding of Egypt, the capital city is named after him, this guy. He was the guy who paid for Egypt to be founded, and now, as you can tell, it's a very small country. It's not that big. Right, anyways, this new Greek rump state will be formed. I guess this is puppet state, and we will call this Egyptian Greece. I would like to mention that the Egyptian government will have, like, obviously, some ports, like the Israel ports, these small islands. But the mainland area of Greece, like this area, is going to be under its new rump state, so we're just going to let it expand. So all these islands near it are like Egyptian vessels, basically, is like various Egyptian naval bases. Yeah, their new nation is formed, and the Egyptians will then form another rump state, this time in Cyprus, be known as Cyprus. Cyprus will build a castle. I'll have a new leader. And the inner nation forms. The Egyptian government will form a Crete. It's known as Egyptian Crete. So at this point, the Egyptians are basically turning their empire into a bunch of rump states. We will see how this goes for them. This new rump state is like, unlike the Greek one, this one is like under direct control, whereas this one is like allowed to have elections and stuff. I mean, they pay like what's the word? What's the word I'm thinking of? Like, what's it called? Tribute? Yeah, tribute to the Egyptians for like their deep military, so, like, you know, to pay for their protection. As for Cyprus, they are an autonomous republic. And this is mostly to quell the odds of, well, you know, I think we all know what I'm about to talk about. So this thing, the Cyprians, so, you know, formation for like the 20th time. They've like came back like I think like 20 times at this point. But as you can see, these are our new borders of Crete. Alright, and another nation is Egypt really likes forming rump states. It's really weird. Alright, they will form a new Somalian country, Egyptian Somalia. And this is mostly to ensure that the, well, they don't know if their own ally made the Somalian state. They don't know that. Egyptians knew that, then they would probably, do some stuff, let's just say. and the Egyptians form yet another new state. You know, it's really weird. The Egyptians just keep forming new countries. But anyways, this new one will form in Yemen, Eastern Egyptian Yemen. I'm gonna have to change this color now that I think about it. Let me change that right now. Okay. Anyways, the Cyprus, the new Cyprian Republic, have a new leader. He will have a large expand, and what he does is he will lobby for the Egyptian government to let him make a autonomous republic. And he will reluctantly allow this to happen. And as for religion, they'll adopt the Libyan Islam. And so the new Cyprus country is so it's basically under pretty heavy Egyptian governance. Right, so like the Egyptian government is like making sure this thing is loyal. So now these are new borders of the new Cyprian country. We're gonna call this the autonomous. What am I gonna call it? The Free Republic. So as you can see, and then we have the Egyptians in Greece. They will successfully take over this. The Egyptian government decides, you know what? It's a good idea to just abandon these naval positions because they know that basically. So what they're doing is they're basically, in order to get the goodwill of the people, basically handing over these naval areas to them. And so now these are our new borders. In exchange for this, in exchange for the Albanians being allowed to take those islands that the Egyptians were initially going to get, they lose that second island. This one. And this is pretty fair, I'd argue. And so now these are our new borders of Greece. The Egyptian government still has control over this area. I can't tell if Malta is accessible. I'm guessing it isn't though. Yeah, this isn't. It honestly sucks that this area isn't accessible. Like I'd really like to have like a small Italian country right here, but I think that'd be nice, but we can't. I just feel we've never filled in these central areas, but I don't know if we ever will, because it's not much of a point. I mean, realistically, I don't think a country could survive here. I mean, inner Iran only survived because of the fact that it was being funded by Caucasia. It was like a trading connector. The republic over here that used to exist only existed because of the Persians wanting resources. The southwestern lands only exist because the Egyptian government trades with them. And those are like the main two landlocked countries. The Caucasians are technically landlocked, but they're not because they got the Black Sea coast, and even if they didn't, they're allied with the Persians, and they also have the Caspian Sea. But anyways, let's get back to it. All right, the Anatolians will have they'll build a castle. All right, that's actually a smart idea. They'll build it here along their border. The Caucasian government doesn't really care about this. They're like, all right. So now, this is our new map. I'd say it looks pretty nice. We have a lot of new nations, which I'm not complaining about. The Caucasians will have a medium expand. This is good for them because the Caucasians have been wanting to finish over this. They want to take over this area for a while. The only reason why they haven't was because of the fact that they really didn't find the time to. But now, since they've been at peace, they've been able to get most of this. Like they're planning on filling out this area, so they're gonna be doing that. I will say this: Caucasia is so steel. If it a rebellion, it would be suppressed. like, a rebellion probably wouldn't happen. The reason why is because Caucasia is probably the most stable country, I'd say. I mean, it's old, the leader's popular. I mean, it's like it's a nomadic country where basically like people each like region or province of Caucasia is like their own leader, but they all report to the main leader. The capital I think is like around here ish, if I remember correctly. Actually no, the capital is here. Yeah, this is where the capital is. So they report to the capital, which is this. You know what? Oh yeah, these are relics. These are historical relics because Iran used to be a joint colony. You know what? Let me just write down all the capitals. All right, let me call this Darius City. Let me just make the names for the capitals. I just remembered I really have never like some nations have no capital name. I just realized that. Like the Caucasians haven't had one. The Persians haven't had one. Let me do that. Where would it be? We'll put it. I said the Persian capital would probably be like here-ish. Let's just say. Alright, the triple kingdom has three capitals. They had this is the Qatari capital, this is the UAE capital, and this is the Omani capital. So these guys are three capitals because they're a triple union. As for Egypt, honestly, don't even ask me how they're stable. I couldn't tell you. Their capital is here, and they govern up to here. So don't ask me how this thing is stable. I couldn't tell you, but. As for Cyprus, they have two capitals. They have their island capital, and then they have the mainland capital, with the like 20,000 places, as you can see. Crete has their capital like right here, in between these two forts. I feel like they're Egyptian puppets, so I'm not gonna put their capitals down. Albania's capital is like right around here, I think. They're founded right there. Let me enable it. We'll call it Montenegro. Oh, is it Montenegro or Montenegro? I don't know. Okay, Anatolia's capital is right there. I already wrote down the Egyptian capital. You know what? Let me just give Egypt this. Okay, good. Alright, this is like the new rough border. Let me just. The Egyptian government will take this lake over. So this isn't even a lake. This is like a small pond, or if you will, like a small. Actually, no. This is a lake. Yeah, that is. And this is like a much larger lake. Wait, that's a Dead Sea? I don't know if that's a Dead Sea. I don't know if that's supposed to be. Is it really that? No, I don't think it'd be that big. Anyways, as you can see, these are the rough new borders of Egypt. So, like, you know. Remember, all this area used to be Yemeni, by the way. Back when Yemen was a huge power, but then they, you know, like the largest collapse in series history. Alright, let's do a few more turns. Alright, South percentage of a large expansion. Probably, I'd argue the most forgotten country on this map. Honestly, I wonder what is England's favorite country? I don't think it is, honestly. This thing, I also could just have it fold into Egypt. And honestly, I probably will, but it's kind of fun to keep it here because of how old it is, so you know what? I'll keep it. I just realized you're 300 turns old. These turns are supposed to be years, by the way, because if so, then that would mean, every army group is like, literally moves at the speed of a snail. But, just imagine, like, just imagine each turn is supposed to be like, I don't know. Really, however you want to be. Honestly, I don't really know, because if it was years, then she would be like 100 years old. I've said the same way for a while, like, they just had theirs, I don't know how long. I think Caucasia is the first nation to be a millennia old on this map. I think they're the only one. Let me check. Alright, these two are new. Persia, I know, isn't that old. 900 years old. They're old store, but not as. They're 900 years. Oh, yeah. Oh, right, because, yeah, because they had the government shift. They didn't actually form a new country. Yeah. Yeah, that's why purchasable. Technically, it should be way younger because of the, technically not the original, like, Southwestern Lands is 800 years old. That checks out. Alright. We'll try 1100. This is the decision to end all decisions. Do they adopt the original Taoism or do they adopt Persian? So Persian is like basically the Caucasian one, but with more Persian-ish stuff. But I personally think that they would adopt that at this point. Plus, it makes a religion map easier to say, so that's what we're gonna do. These two are very close. You know they barely border each other anymore. All right, Egyptian Crete. All right, a new nation will form up, and basically, I don't even know where this nation would form honestly. Where could I form it? I don't want to skip it. Egypt would never bring Yemen back because they want control over this area. The Yemeni government built a ton of forts here before they collapsed. The Sinai would never become independent because the Egyptian government has so many forts there. This area wouldn't become independent either because of how many fortifications they have. This northern area maybe, but they just are successfully able to take it, and they've been giving the regions autonomy. So I personally think that these areas would remain. Libya has been part of. It's like the core province. This is like Egypt's main province. All this is like their capital area, if you will. This is like a southern area, the central area. This is like southern, I don't know. Let me just skip it for now. I don't know where I would put it. Okay, let me just. Oh, that was unintentional. Let me just. Alright, leader. Alright. Let me just let the Egyptian guard go on an expedition. Okay, okay, we're good. Right. The reason why Egypt did this was I don't know more reason why they did this. Kuwait will build a castle. This is a smart move. I think they're gonna need it. Because these two are, Persia wants his land back. I mean, they want hegemony over the Persian Gulf. It's like, them and Triple Kingdom have been contesting it for a while. Alright, Yemen with a medium expands. They go up to here, and they also will move inland a bit. Southwestern lands will build a castle. We'll build it right here on our capital. And Anatolians will be okay. Alright. Where could I put it? I don't really know at this point. I did tell you to go turn 1100, but I think I'm gonna end it here. Just because I don't really want to waste 7 more turns. So let me save this. I don't really know what else I could do. So with that being said, let me just double check it works. Load. Okay, we're good. That being said, goodbye.